I got fired yesterday.
For what?
Next time on the season finale of Landman.
I made a pretty sizable investment with Cammy.
An investment you'll lose.
If you lose this...
First things first, let's talk about what we actually know for sure about Season 3's release. Sam Elliott, who plays Thomas, already confirmed that filming is expected to kick off around April or May of this year. Now, if you remember, Season 2 started filming in April and premiered 7 months later in November. So if they stick to that same timeline, and there's no reason to think they won't, we're looking at Landman Season 3 dropping in fall 2026. I mean, that's literally just a handful of months away at this point. The show's been renewed, the scripts are being finalized, and from what we're hearing, Taylor Sheridan is going all in on this season. And honestly, after that Season 2 finale, he kind of has to, right? Because they left us with so many unresolved threads that need addressing. Now, about this trailer everyone's been waiting for. Here's the thing. Paramount hasn't officially dropped it yet, but there's been so much buzz from the production side that we know it's coming soon. Like, really soon. And based on the little teases we've gotten from cast interviews and some leaked production details, this trailer is going to focus heavily on the consequences of Tommy's decision to start CTT. Remember, he took $44 million from Galino. $44 million. That's not the kind of money you just borrow and hope things work out. That's the kind of money that comes with serious strings attached, and Galino made it crystal clear in the finale that failure isn't an option. So Season 3 is basically going to be Tommy trying to make this company work, while constantly looking over his shoulder wondering when Galino's going to come collecting. What makes this even more intense is that Cooper is the president of CTT. Cooper, who just barely avoided a murder charge at the end of Season 2. Cooper, who's still dealing with the trauma of what happened with Ariana. The trailer's supposedly going to show us Cooper struggling with this massive responsibility, and from what I'm hearing, there's going to be a moment where he seriously questions whether he's cut out for this. And honestly, I don't blame him. Tommy threw him into the deep end without a life jacket. Sure, Cooper has that natural instinct for finding oil, that gift that everyone kept talking about in Season 2, but having a nose for oil and actually running a company are two completely different things. Tommy knows this. He's lived it. He's seen what this industry does to people. But he gave Cooper this role anyway because I think he wanted his son to have something that was truly his. Something that wasn't built on someone else's foundation. But the question Season 3 seems to be asking is whether that gift was actually a curse in disguise. Now let's talk about the absolute mess that is Cammy's situation going into Season 3. She ended Season 2 in the worst possible position. She fired Tommy, which was already a catastrophic decision, and then she tried to poach Nate like that was somehow going to fix everything. Excuse me, but did she really think that was going to work? Those two men have been through wars together, literal and figurative. Nate quit on the spot and walked away, leaving Cammy completely alone at MTEX. And here's where it gets really interesting. Those mysterious documents she found, the ones with no electronic record that Monty hid away, those are going to be a major plot point in Season 3. Nate told her to dig deeper, to figure out why Monty hid them before she did anything with them. And I'm willing to bet that whatever she finds in those documents is going to completely change her understanding of what Monty was really doing with MTEX. Maybe he was planning to sell, maybe he was involved in something shady. Maybe there's a reason he kept those papers hidden from everyone, including his own wife. Tommy and Nate are gone. Galino's not interested in working with MTEX anymore because, as we learned, he only wanted to work with them when Tommy was there. So Cammy's stuck running a company she's not qualified to run, dealing with secrets she doesn't understand, and competing against Tommy, who now has his own operation. At this point, selling MTEX would probably be her smartest move. But we all know Cammy's not going to do that. She's too stubborn, too invested in Monty's legacy, too determined to prove that she can do this without anyone's help, and that stubbornness is going to destroy her. I'm calling it now. By the middle of Season 3, Cammy's going to be in such a bad position that she'll either have to crawl back to Tommy for help or watch MTEX crumble completely. And knowing Tommy, he might not be in a forgiving mood. The thing about Season 3 that has me most excited and honestly most worried is how they're going to handle the Tommy and Galino dynamic, because that relationship is a ticking time bomb. Galino didn't invest $44 million into CTT out of the goodness of his heart. He did it because he sees an opportunity, and Galino's opportunities always come with a price. Tommy knows this. He's not naive, but he was desperate, and desperate men make dangerous decisions. What I think we're going to see in Season 3 is Galino slowly tightening his grip on CTT. Maybe things start going wrong. Maybe there's an accident on one of the rigs. Maybe the oil they're counting on turns out to be harder to extract than Cooper thought, and suddenly, CTT is burning through money faster than they're making it. And when that happens, Galino's going to step in. Not to help, but to take control. He'll offer more money, more resources, but with conditions. And every condition is going to pull Tommy deeper into Galino's world. Remember, Galino warned Tommy in the finale. He said failure would have consequences. That wasn't just tough talk, that was a promise. So Tommy's going to spend all of Season 3 trying to walk this impossible tightrope between making CTT successful enough to pay Galino back and keeping enough independence that he's not just trading one boss for another. And with Cooper as president, with his whole family's futures tied up in this company, the stakes couldn't be higher. If CTT fails, it's not just Tommy who goes down, it's everyone he loves. Let's talk about what's probably going to be one of the main storylines in Season 3, and that's Cooper trying to prove himself as president of CTT while dealing with everything that happened with Ariana. I mean, the kid nearly beat someone to death. That guy died on the way to the hospital. Yeah, Rebecca got Cooper out of it. Yeah, the police backed off. But do you really think that's going to be the end of it? There's no way. That dead guy was a pipeline supplier, which means his death is connected to the oil industry, which means there are going to be people asking questions. Maybe his family comes after Cooper. Maybe there's a civil lawsuit. Maybe some journalist starts digging into what really happened that night, and suddenly CTT is dealing with horrible PR before they've even drilled their first well. Cooper's going to have to navigate all of this while trying to run a company, and I don't think he's ready for it. Ariana's the office manager now, which means they're working together every single day, which means they can't escape what happened, even if they wanted to. And from what we know about Season 3's direction, their relationship is going to be tested in ways neither of them expected. Because trauma doesn't just go away. Ariana's still dealing with her assault. Cooper's still dealing with the fact that he killed someone, even if it was in defense of someone he loves. And now, they're both stuck in this high-pressure environment where one wrong move could destroy everything Tommy built. They're kids playing adult games in an industry that chews up and spits out people twice their age with twice their experience. Here's something else that's going to be huge in Season 3. Tommy's relationship with Angela. If you remember, Angela completely panicked when she found out Tommy lost his job at MTEX. She called him immediately, and he tried to calm her down, told her this wasn't like 2008, told her to trust him. But Angela's not stupid. She knows Tommy. She knows he's always one disaster away from losing everything, and now he's bet everything on a company that literally just started. Angela's going to spend Season 3 watching Tommy pour himself into CTT while probably feeling more and more disconnected from him. Because let's be real, Tommy's married to his work. He always has been. It's why his first marriage failed. It's why his relationship with his kids has always been complicated. And even though he loves Angela, even though he wants to build something stable with her, his obsession with making CTT work is going to push her away. I think we're going to see Angela reach a breaking point where she has to decide whether she can keep loving a man who's constantly putting himself, and by extension her, in danger. And the thing is, Tommy probably won't even realize he's doing it until it's too late. He's so focused on protecting his family by making CTT successful that he's not seeing how his obsession is actually hurting them. That's classic Tommy. He's his own worst enemy. He makes these grand gestures thinking he's fixing things, when really he's just creating new problems. And Season 3 is going to force him to confront that, whether he wants to or not. Now, we have to talk about what Nate's role is going to be in Season 3, because that man is a wild card. He's handling CTT's finances, which is perfect for him since he's brilliant with numbers, but he's also the voice of reason that Tommy desperately needs.